Some of you are trying to create a legacy. Some of you are trying to really break through in an industry. Some of you are trying to really do well in a career, and some of you are just trying to live each day. And this video is really to say that whatever you're trying to do not rush. Don't rush because you see people on social media or your friends and family apparently doing so well, and it's making you feel like you're not doing enough. I mean, many of us have felt like we aren't doing enough because next person here or next person there is doing amazing stuff, but there is value and there is, let's say, grace in just being patient. So important to be patient. Now, I'm not saying be patient and just wait for things to happen. I'm saying be patient with intelligence, so to speak. You have to be clear about what you want. I mean, nothing ever comes to a man or a woman just out of the sky. Now, of course, yeah, there may be instances like that. However, for most people, it requires hard work. It requires good understanding. It requires just making sure that you play the game the right way. Okay, this is all a game at the end of the day. There is something that you desire from life. You are trying to be this person. And sometimes we hit roadblocks. And so in order for you to be patient, in order for you to realize that actually it's not about just, trying to do something bigger, badder and bolder than the next person. It's about making sure you win in the right way. This is how you do it. First of all, you clear your mind of anything that influences you heavily. For many of us, it's social media, okay? Some of us will go on the gram or on TikTok or wherever it may be and see all of these nice illuminating pictures and videos and start to invigorate and visualize these different thoughts of success, so to speak. But you have to be clear about what success looks like to you. The way you define this is by asking yourself questions. What is success to me? How do I define my happiness? When will I be satisfied, so to speak? What do I need to do in order to be this type of person? Do I have those skills and capabilities yet? A lot of what you want is housed in the skills that you develop, but not just only what you develop, but also the skills that you utilize, the skills that you use. And so this is one way of just really making sure that you keep your eye on a prize. Another way of doing this is getting a coach or a mentor, okay? Getting someone who can talk to you about how the game is played. So if you speak to a coach, they have the ability to open your mind up with different questions that enable you to think actively about your current situation and how you want to move it into your desired future situation as well. A mentor can give you a clear roadmap and tell you exactly what you need to do. Now, depending on the stage you're at, you may need a different type of person, so to speak. Okay, so if you've just started on this journey, maybe you need a mentor. If you're somebody who's a veteran within this journey or has made some inroads, maybe you need a coach. Okay, so you need these people for different types of experiences as well. A third thing you can do is to be extremely detailed and really understood and learned in the space that you're trying to be an expert or pro in. I say this because you need to know like everything there is to know, should I say, in terms of what you're trying to do. Because once you do that, when you get other people doing stuff for you, or when you get to a certain level of flow, or when you get to a place where you are respected as that person, no one can take you for a fool. Now, it's not about an ego thing, but it's about making sure that you do what you do really well. How many people truly learn the art and science of what they're trying to do? Like, not many people do. Most people give up. It's common for people to give up. It's a running joke for 85% of people to fail their New Year's resolution after 2 weeks. I mean, we all know this. And so you need to be above the crop. You need to be the person who really understands what it is that they're trying to do. So these three basic things, at least, forces you to be patient. Don't see it as a race. See it as, I'm going to master this game. No master became a master quickly. They took their time. There was a certain way, an approach that they took. That's another thing I want to say. You know, sometimes people are like, oh, just do this, you're going to get this buzz, or just do that, blah, blah, blah. You can't just do anything. There has to be a strategy and plan behind what you're doing. So the fourth thing is to work alongside some sort of strategy or plan. So a strategy is really the approach you take towards something based on a unique way of experiencing that thing. Okay? That's what a strategy is. A plan is really the roadmap, the step-by-step, the actions that you take in order for you to get those deliverables or outputs that you're trying to seek. And if they don't work, then you can fall back on what it is that you're trying to do to give you a reference in order to help you move forward. Another way to keep a level head so you don't rush what you're doing is to have the right people around you. I've spoken about coaches and mentors, but what about accountability buddies and mastermind groups? What about networks? Okay. What about even the things that you watch and you read? These are all things, when you are exposed to on a regular basis, helps you not rush. Sometimes we may be positions where we want to get a new house because our friend has got a new house, or we want to get a certain job because our friends have got a certain job, or we want to go on X holiday because our friends went on that holiday. But are you ready for that? So that's the next thing. You need to know your portion. And the way you know your portion is by doing some sort of diagnosis on yourself. I've spoken about the Wheel of Life before. It's a great example of basically getting different areas of your life, categorizing or ranking yourself in terms of where you sit in those areas, and then defining what a 10 looks like in order for you to move past where you are right now. So sometimes you need to sit back and really think to yourself, where am I truly at right now? It's not about rushing, okay? Some of you are aware of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? This is a really old school sort of like positive humanistic psychology tool you can use, okay? Talk about 5 levels. There's actually 8 levels that Maslow spoke about. But again, that's just another guide in order for you to understand where do you sit in these different tiers. Of course, by no means you have to do them in order, but it gives you a flavor of what is deemed as generally important for the general population. So if there is something that you're trying to do, do not get distracted by what you see, because before we see anything, there is some filtering and processing that happens in the brain before we receive that as the visual experience. What I'm saying is, our brain can play tricks on us, and they can tap into our emotions to make us feel a certain way, therefore making us want to make certain decisions that may not be serving to our true selves. You have to truly know what you want, and in order for you to truly know what you want, you have to ask yourselves those initial questions. What do I want? Okay. Sometimes answering that question is based on knowing what you don't want, and you know what you don't want based on your past experiences. And so these tools of reflection, these tools of review are very important in making sure that you keep a level head. But you can't do this just once because you've watched this YouTube video. There needs to be a rhythm to it. There needs to be a regularity to it. Of course, it needs to be exciting to an extent, but you need to stick to it regardless, because once you stick to it, when you look back 10 years, you're going to be like, wow, this is where I was at, and I'm here right now because of that reflection that I did. Now, am I saying that you need to do these things in order to be successful or to stay patient? No. Am I saying it helps? Absolutely. Okay. Maybe some of these things may not work for you, but I'm sure some of these things will work for you as well. Okay. Now, I'd love to know, what are some of the things you would like to know about when it comes to staying the path? Okay. Or at least not getting distracted when it comes to your success. I'd love to know. So comment below. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.